Alrighty. New video, new topic. The last one I made was about journals and how excited I am about journals and basically how I write down about different stuff. My goal is to be able to share as many short stories as I can that don't have any connection ties to my bigger goals that I've already written down, because some of them I can give a general basis of this is my goal and I'm excited, and then there's other ones where I know I won't be able to actually share with the internet. So I well, in normal terms of creating something for myself out of it, like fanfic. And this is one of the stories. Thick old boy. But it's basically an isekai. If you don't know what an isekai is, it's where the character is in the normal world and they die and then they go into a fictional world or like a magical new world where they get to go on big adventures. And with mine, it's a self-insert about me going into the world of My Hero Academia. My viewpoint of My Hero Academia is I still have hope out for the potential of the characters, but currently the storyline is not that great. It feels like they bring up great concepts and then they fumble it so much. So, and the big thing as a writer for me is I love picking up stories that have potential, that get me excited, my creative juices going, but then they fumble in areas, so then I'm like, fine, I'll write the story myself. And this story has so many different flaws, I've been able to write multiple different stories. And woo! But basically with this isekai story I've worked on, its whole concept was just I got born with the knowledge that I have in my original life, and then I continue as from a baby to a teenager joining into the whole series. And I have little shenanigans. I don't plan on sorry for a shaky camera. I don't have no, I have powers, and I have the whole I feel like I want to tell you about it, how I've written it in the story, but I feel like a lot of things will just go questioning if I go it that way. In my head, as my character, she is thinking to herself, why am I here? How did I get here? This doesn't make any sense. And in her viewpoint, she is trying to stay out of the spotlight as much as possible, even though shenanigans, just stuff keeps happening so that she meets all the characters that are in the original story plot. So in the beginning, she's freaking out because she doesn't want to go into that whole thing. She doesn't want to become a hero. She doesn't want to know heroes, but she ends up meaning the main character cast. And eventually she gets to the point where she just accepts it because she had a character that basically helped inspire her to go into vigilante work. And that character dies. And the only way that she would be able to continue her training would be to become a hero. So she goes to one place she knows, UA, and she basically tries to tiptoe along the lines of the canon world events that happened, that she knows will happen. Uh, she shouts out to the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse series unintentionally here and there because she realizes how weird this feels. But she continues on, and she has a knowledge of like a girl in her 20s, but she is a um, native to Japan with um, with a new power set, which, oh, I should tell you, she freaks out when she gets her quirk because it's inspired off of a character that, like a character superpower that I made that was basically just a OC fill in for different story plots, like my own OC if it was in My Hero Academia. But it wasn't like I made it with like if you just heard the original concept, super OP until I add in like all the different, like I have like 3 different weaknesses to make it look more like normal and natural. But she freaks out because it's based off of me when I first started it, and she just panicked because how on earth did she get this quirk and not just one that her parents had? And by the way, she started realizing she doesn't even know what her parents' quirks are like. Her mom is a gold digger, and her dad is working multiple different jobs to sustain herself. So, um, she gets into confusion about all that, and then she goes to UA. Story plot lines happen. She tries to stop USJ in hopes that maybe she could change something. Maybe she could create a whole different world that isn't the same concept of what happens in the original story. And it fails, like how she tried avoiding the characters that were important to the series, and it just happened anyway. So she just goes with it and like learns what she can mess with and what she can't mess with. And she becomes close with Principal Nezu because she was an adult stuck in a baby body, so she was considered to be like a genius. And she basically had to navigate being treated like an adult, like a genius kid, while having an adult mind, but also dealing with all the emotions of like being a toddler, being a kid, being a teenager, while she is stuck with all this knowledge that she has. And I go through plot points, I go through like different events, and then I have a big reveal that she, surprise surprise, all for one knew that she came from another world, and in particular says that he sponsored the scientists that brought her into this world because all they knew was that she would have the knowledge of the whole history of All Might and like all these secrets and whatnot. So she was directly pulled in through science of their world into the from her world into this world with their technology, which freaks her out. I mean, rightfully so. So if you ever heard that as a teenager, as you're trying to act like a normal teenager and you try to grow as this new person, and then suddenly this whole new life kicks in, yeah, it would be pretty terrifying. And I'm currently working the stage of her just admitting to everyone of basically that of the shenanigans she had to deal with since she was a child, and the working through the forgiveness stage, working through who's the scientist that brought her, the fact that her parent learning about how her parents were not all just random characters. There's a kitty saying hi. She has to learn how to come to grips with the fact that her parents weren't all that she thought they were. Like her dad, surprise, was the evil scientist that created her into this world and actually learned how to be able to create quirks just at a whim based off of what he wants. through her and other stuff like that. Hey there. Hey. And so she's still on the journey of basically bringing her dad down, bringing All for One down with the group, and basically just going through the phases of asking for forgiveness, trying to solve crimes, emotional breakdown because she's not admitted to everyone yet, and she still is trying to figure out a way to stop the big war casualty event that happen to come to fruition. So that's currently where I'm at, but the goal is that she obviously saves the day. She helps her parents get redeemed because the dad will go through a redemption arc of the whole reason why I did what this was to help society, not harm it, and I am now knees deep in and yada yada. Kitty. And I'm hoping to have a whole show. The whole theme is no matter where you start, the person that you are now will help is where you're currently at, and that's what you need to work with, and that's you constantly need to better yourself and grow and allow people into your life to help it grow, because that's the lesson I'm trying to learn, and that's so I'm trying to write into my story that's okay for me to accept help, to accept that not everyone is out to get me, even though sometimes it feels like it. So um that's why I'm writing it. That's the whole plot. Thank you for listening, and I will let you go. Bye.